He even has his picture in the kitchen. But today is surprisingly not about Timmy. It's surprisingly not even about me, which is, oh my god, so unusual. But it is about the smoothie bowls I've been posting online for years now, and you guys have been asking about recipe and what I put in and how do I make them so colorful, blah blah blah. It's a long list, so I figured finally I can make a full-length video and share some little tips and maybe even my secrets of what makes them so good, what makes them so good for you, and what makes them so super tasty. So let's get to it. If you follow me on social media, you may have seen these popping in and out of my feed because they're just so fun to do, and I love eating with my eyes. I am a very visual person, so for me to enjoy something, it has to look good. So I always try to make them super fancy schmancy comparing to the bowls that you get, let's say, at the smoothie place down the street. What I also figured is that the substance and texture is really everything that makes this so good. It's not about just the colors and of course the toppings, all that additional stuff, but the inside has to be filled with protein for me. It's not filled with sugar like most of these bowls you get outside in a franchise somewhere. And it's filled with superfood powders, which I'm so big on. I have a whole cabinet here with all kinds of powders and potions and tea leaves and little herbs. So we'll get to it. I'll share some of my favorite combos here to show you some basic color scheme of what we can do and how to really satisfy all our senses, even with the limited time and limited resources. So let's not waste any time. I want to share with you that these past few months I've been doing them in bulk. So I got these bowls that I got on Amazon, and everything I'm going to be linking down below in the description box so you can get it as well. These are easy to freeze. So for me, the best thing has been doing them in a big batch using this ninja thing. I don't know if you can see it from there. And just making at least 6 of them at once, so I don't have to always stress about using the magic bullet, which I have here, because I used to do them just for 1 portion or 2 portions at once. But now I figured a system where I can just make more of it, freeze it, have it for later, and they're just so easy to defrost later when you take it out of the freezer. So if you want to do a big batch, I would suggest doing it in something bigger like this. Today we're gonna go back to my magic bullet that I haven't used in a while, so I can show you different color schemes and I don't have to wash it all together to show you what it can look like. So if that makes sense, we're gonna go to the magic bullet setting. I'm gonna put this bad boy away, but this has been a lifesaver for all these batches that I've been doing, because each of them I usually do 2 or 3 layers. So I just play with it, but you'll see what I'm talking about later. This is a great machine to have for sure. It's from the Ninja brand, but let's put it away and let's get down and dirty. If you're like me and you're always kind of running on limited time and you're not really eager to cook, or you don't even enjoy it, because I personally don't even enjoy cooking that much. And if I enjoy it, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this once in a blue moon because it makes me happy. But otherwise, I just want something quick and easy, something that doesn't make me think too much, something that doesn't require too much of my time, because when you get home later in the evening, last thing you want to do is spend time in the kitchen. At least for me, that's how it works. And even after a workout, do you think I want to sit here, or I'm not gonna sit in the kitchen, but stand here in the kitchen and cook something elaborate just to have a great breakfast? No, I want something quick and easy, but also super healthy and fulfilling. So that's how I figured my system here. I ask you to really have some good blender, whether it's small, so you can make 1 or 2 portions, or bigger one, of course, you're gonna need that for sure. Everything else is pretty much customizable. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but once you figure out your substance and your texture, you basically got it. Then you just play with colors, play with taste, play with flavoring, play with stuff that you want to add to your body. So I do have specific powders that I use almost all the time, depends on what color scheme I'm picking. I think we're gonna start from lighter to darker, so I don't have to go crazy with washing this thing so much. I picked as my base today mostly bananas, but This last batch that I did, hold on a little. This last batch I did this past week was actually based with papaya. So again, I play with the colors that I have. Since papaya is more orange, I was putting all my lighter and orangey powders in, and then the top was with blue spirulina and also based with papaya. But I didn't have blueberries, and you still wouldn't even know it. There's no blueberries in it. So this is just to kind of show you what happened last week. I did 2 layers only. This is not as blue as it usually is when you put blueberries in, but it's still pretty nice. And the bottom and the mixture overall has all the secrets that I'm gonna be sharing with you right now. Before we get down and dirty, I wanna also remind you guys that you can get any kind of fruit frozen and use it for later. This is what I do all the time because again, when I go shopping, I want to get as many groceries as I can in order to not go there again in the next few days. I just want to freeze as much as I can so I can use it later for who knows what. Sometimes I just snack on the frozen bananas because if I'm craving sugar and little carbohydrate, I'm gonna just snack on the little pieces of frozen banana. It keeps me satisfied, it keeps the sugar craving away. Love it. Sometimes I dip them into chocolate, but again, that gets messy and it requires more time, so I have to feel really much into chocolate to be able to do that. But these are the bags that I use. They have these metal, not metal, it's like a plastic closing. I don't know if I have it here. But you're supposed to slide it over. I don't even bother. I just put it in. They're freezable. So usually I have a bunch of strawberries cut already ready for mixtures, or if I just want to dip it on top of my grits or something. This time I only have the frozen bananas because I'm gonna be leaving town, so I try not to keep too many things in the freezer because I always think of the worst, like what if the fridge is gonna stop working when I come home and then I'm gonna have so much food to throw away. So before I leave town, I make sure there's not much in the fridge left, you know what I mean? So this is just an idea. If you want to freeze things for later for your smoothies, you can of course buy prepackaged frozen bananas, frozen bags of fruit, but if you can do it yourself, you know, that's a no-brainer. So I like to buy the fruit myself, cut the fruit myself, and whatever your cravings are, you can even freeze coconut pieces, you can freeze mangoes, pineapple, whatever makes you happy. Papaya, when I froze it last time, was great too. It was just ready to rock and roll because if I didn't eat it within a few days, it would get really bad. So this is just an idea. If you want to invest into something that makes your life easier, these are the things to get. It comes in a big box where you have different sizing. I sometimes even freeze Timmy's holistic food in there. So they're just options, you know? So let's get to it. Since we're gonna be doing a different colors, I'm spitting my tea here. I will probably cut the bananas first and then add everything to it because banana is today gonna be our base. Usually when I do my green spirulina based smoothie bowls, I try to put a little bit of avocado because again, I pair the colorful things together. So since avocado is green, I put little kale, spinach, and all kinds of other stuff to make it green and nice, and maybe a little piece of banana. But just to make it simple today, bunch of chiquitas here. So let's get to it. I try not to overdose it with sugar. That's gonna be like the key point today because even though they're known to be smoothie bowls and full of fruit and stuff, I try not to do that. I just want to make sure I have the texture right. So let's say I'm gonna put half a banana here. It's not nice to really show the knife in the camera, but hey, there you go. Half for later for another color. And I'm gonna start with something light. So I always put some kind of a liquid in there as well, so that's another must-have. I usually do almond milk, which I'm not really a big fan of because a lot of them have all kinds of additives in them. So I try to use it as little as possible. If you have whole milk, that's great too, but it's gonna be way more filling. And sometimes I want it to just feel more light, even though it's fulfilling and it should satisfy my cravings. I don't think the whole milk is something that I enjoy putting in unless it's just a little splash. So to keep it simple, I'll add my almond milk. With that, I usually just put a little bit at the base, for now, because we're gonna be mixing in some other stuff and I don't want it to get stick to the bottom, but I don't want to overfill it with liquid because I don't want it too liquidy at the end. So we're gonna add more milk at the end when we filled with this beauty. I also either put in some yogurt that I like. I try to go for unflavored and as high with protein content as possible, and also one that has a little less fat, or if it's a whole milk yogurt, that's great too, but I like to eat those separately just with my fruit because they are tasty. These ones with no fat and high protein, they don't taste amazing just on its own. So I do like to mix it in there, make a use of it, and also amp my protein content in these bowls. So let me find a spoon. For now, again, I just put, you know, just a good mixture here, like so. And here comes the fun part. I do not have much space here, but let me show you something. So, besides protein powders that we're gonna use later for other stuff, I'm gonna put this on the floor. La la la, it's gonna be for our chocolate mix. I make these little trays with stuff already in it because every time I dig something out of this cabinet, I don't want to go one by one. It's really annoying. And again, I'm all about saving time because time is money and I like to get everything done as quickly as possible. So since we're going for a lighter mixture, I'm gonna add some ashwagandha. This, you don't have to add too much. I already have my spoons in it. I got these like wooden spoons, so it's already ready for me to use. And I just go without measuring, you know, just like 2 teaspoons, I guess, of this. You don't have to add much. I believe this is considered to be adaptogen, so good stress relief and just good for you. There are some other powders we're gonna use later. I'm gonna add maca powder here because that's also light in color. Need another oh, this already has a spoon. This spoon is from Minchies, if you guys are familiar with the yogurt place, the frozen yogurt. And again, I just go like that. As long as it doesn't bother your stomach, you know, don't go crazy. You don't need much. You need just a little bit for one portion. Since this is gonna probably split into little layers, into 2 bowls, you know, we just go by eye. In Czech you say od oka, you know, you just measure the way you see it. That's the correct measurement. And for these powders too, I do love storing them in glass jars. So I am known for hoarding on glass jars for whatever reason. I had to throw so many of them away. Sometimes I just like to have a nice glass jar and use it as a drinking glass, you know, it's nice. This one I believe is for pickles, and I just make my own label so I know it says maca. My friend got me this label creator, so I'm always like designing on it and putting it on everything. You're gonna see throughout the video that I put the labels on everything. Love organizing, love everything about it. So that's about it. Also, well, let's add some chia seeds. We don't have to go crazy with it. 1 spoon. This container is from Walmart, and I haven't been to Walmart in months now, I think maybe even longer, but I do like to just refill it with other stuff I find at Aldi or online. So I love this container, came with the spoon, perfect, perfect. So container, that's a checkbox right there. All right, what else can we add to this light color? I do have some oats, which I hate using oats now, so I'm actually just trying to get rid of all of these because I know they can be bugs there if you don't use them by a certain time. So for me, I am just trying to get rid of them. If you don't like oats, you don't have to add them. For me, it's just a little filler, and I'm not even putting much. So just that, because I think oats are meant for cattle and pigs, and as humans, we shouldn't really eat it. That's my thinking, but they're here, so, you know, gotta use them. And what else can we add? We can add a little almond flour. Again, you don't have to go crazy. Just a little. At the end of the day, it's all about your taste buds and what your stomach can handle, because I know some of these ingredients may be new to you. So maybe it's good to start with a little portion of the powder instead of overdosing your stomach. My stomach is used to anything, so I really don't have a problem digesting any of this. But I know if people mix a lot of these powders together and it's their first time, maybe take it easy, okay? Maybe start with a couple powders or just one at a time and then amp it up. For me, bring it, the more the merrier, so that's how I rock and roll. Now, you may be asking, oh my god, this is gonna taste like shit because it's all these powders with no taste or bitter taste like the ashwagandha. It's actually really bitter. You don't really want to eat it alone. And for that, I have a solution. So I found this stevia extract on Amazon. It's one of the best sweeteners I've ever used. They say 1 teaspoon, hold on, let me show you. 1 teaspoon, 1 scoop of this stevia is equivalent to 1 teaspoon or TSP. Is it tablespoon or teaspoon? But it sounds like it's an easy thing to manage mathematically, but until you see the spoon size, so you think, oh, teaspoon or tablespoon, that's, you can kind of imagine the size, right? What it means in this bag is size like this. Because this thing is so potent. I just had a conversation about this product at Sprouts with the lady working there, and you know, we were looking for this at Sprouts and I couldn't find it. And I was telling her, you know, this is the product I like. I don't want to buy the stevia with the erythritol and all these sugar alcohols and stuff, even though they say it's organic, blah, blah, blah. You look at the ingredients and there's not just stevia, there's all kinds of other stuff. And then you pay more for these drops that don't really last. This thing lasts year, 2 years, I don't even know. I always put it in my little container here, and I literally just put size of that miniature spoon into my whole coffee thing. So when I do my coffee, I put just a little bit in. It's so sweet. You're not gonna believe it until you try it. It is so potent. Can't even, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it than potent, because it's crazy sweet. You can just lick your finger and think, oh my god, I just ate a piece of chocolate. It's that sweet. It's crazy. So I'm storing this bag. It's also so powdery. So once you put this in a container like this, there was the smoke of stevia extract. So that was really funny. But I'll put a little bit of that in my mixture just to make it taste a little better. And look how much I'm using. So here I have this spoon and I just let it kind of stick to it. Hold on. Let me show you for proof. Or maybe I can use this one. Oh no, I don't want to make it dirty. So for proof, I just use this much. Because it's so potent. And maybe I can use a little more. But really, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, this is gonna be our light mixture. I'll add a little bit of almond milk. And since this already has a bunch of stuff, oh, I forgot. We gotta add collagen. I do have a collagen here. So since I am against using vanilla protein powder, which would be great here because the color scheme, I don't like vanilla taste. So I am trying to avoid vanilla as much as I can in everything, and I just put some collagen here. Again, we don't need much because we're gonna do other layers as well, just to give you an idea. And everything goes by taste for me, so when I mix it and maybe it tastes a little less sweet than I want or more sweet than I want, I can always adjust. And that's why I like playing with these powders, because the options are limitless and you can really customize it to your liking. I think we got it now. Sometimes I also add pieces of tofu in there just to make it even more crazy, you know, protein filled. But right now I think we're okay. Let's start like this. Here, let's see if we get the texture right for the first time. And then we're gonna move on to the next one. little more liquidy than I would like. So I'll add a little bit more of the almond flour and the collagen. Maybe I need a bigger spoon, but they're all in the what do you call it? Washer and dryer. No, the dishwasher. Dishwasher is still washer though. So okay. More collagen. There is never enough. Unless it makes you go to the bathroom, but you know, I don't have that kind of problem. So let's see. Should be a little better. We may actually add the tofu in, so. Or a little bit more of the oats that I don't like. It's gonna be like a never-ending thing. I think I put too much of the milk in. I'm always gonna make a face when I use these oats because, oh my god. But you don't even really taste them in the mixture. I just, you know how I feel about oats by now. Okay, let's do this. And this may be trial and error like this in most occasions. I feel like you really just have to customize it by what you have in the house and what you feel like eating. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Maybe a little almond flour. And since I'm using this, what is this spoon that I've been spooning with? You know, it's miniature, so I should be using the big one, but like I said, it's in the washer, the dishwasher. So maybe that's what makes it so difficult. But this is fine. Since I'm using the almond flour, I don't feel the need for the tofu. It's okay. But we can try it for the next one, we'll see. Okay, good. This is more like it. So I'll do a couple layers and transfer this in my frozeable containers. See, this is a good texture. It's thick enough and we can layer it with other stuff. I'll probably finish. And that's what I'm saying, with the magic bullet, you can only do basically one big portion or 1.5. So I let these sit in a freezer for now before we put something on top. For the next bowl idea, let's go a little darker. Let's go for my chocolate route. It's gonna be almost the same, but not quite. So let me clean this first. This is the modern cleaning. You know what? I didn't even taste the bowls, assuming it's all good. It wouldn't hurt to add a little more. No, it's actually really nice. You'll see once you start using that stevia extract. You're not gonna think about any other sweetener at all. I of course have like blue agave here. I have honey. Not right now, I finished it yesterday, but I just drizzle that maybe on top whenever I defrost it, and I feel like I want a little bit more carbohydrate. So again, I just go by taste. So let's go for idea number 2. We have leftover banana. We can even add half of another banana. We don't have to. And maybe, you know what? No, let's do the tofu thing. So for this one, we're gonna use base half of the banana. Maybe we're gonna add a little more. But I wanna show you that we can do it with tofu base as well. If you're a guy, I would not recommend eating too much tofu, at least not the processed one from the States. If you can get it from an Asian store, it's probably gonna be much better for you, but you know, It has estrogen, and you don't want to grow man boobs, do you? Or maybe you do. Who am I to judge, right? You can have man boobs all you want. Okay? Timmy likes tofu as well, so we put a little bit there. Again, I'm gonna add a little bit of yogurt. Not much. And this is optional, you don't have to add it, but we're going for a texture. And since we go in the chocolate route, cannot forget cinnamon. We cannot forget my reishi mushroom because it's darker in color. Also very good for you. This is actually suggested to eat more towards the evening than in the morning, but I don't think it makes a big difference. I am so lacking on spoons right now. I'm gonna do this miniature thing again. Okay, I'm kind of running out of my reishi mushrooms. I like this brand. They do all kinds of other things. I even got the mango powder from them. Last time I got the maca powder from them, so I highly recommend it. All links are gonna be down below. It's gonna be a lot of links. Oh my god. Okay, that's for reishi mushrooms. Yeah, I only use this for my chocolate mix because it's darker in color. So it just goes hand in hand. With chocolate, I always try to put ashwagandha though everywhere. Everywhere I go, I put ashwagandha. No, every little bowl thing I do, I try to put a little bit of ashwagandha. This time, I'm just gonna do one of this. That's it. Little sip of my black tea. And fun part. Chocolate powder. And one of my favorite protein mixes. So I just do 1 spoon. Sufficient. I love this mix. I know they make the vanilla one, but like I said, we're not vanilla friendly over here, so this does it for me. And let's add our cacao powder. And when you buy cocoa powder or cacao powder, make sure it's not processed with alkali. Try to get as clean product as possible. And with anything you buy, any of these powders, even though it says maca powder, make sure it's only maca powder and not any additives, because people try to sell you all kinds of stuff, and just because it has a nice label and nice packaging doesn't mean it's good for you. So I would keep your eyes open on that. Okay. Yesterday when I made myself some grits, and it's not the typical grits, it's like a European, what do you call it? Like the texture is very fine, and we used to eat it as kids. My mom was always making it on this big plate, and by the time you bring it to the table, it's already kind of cold, and when you eat it from top, it's still, you know, it's just nice. And then you put just cacao and a little sugar, and you can put jam and piece of butter, and it's just so good. So I had it for dinner yesterday, but instead of the cacao only, I put also protein powder. So I always try to stick protein wherever I can. I don't want to sound like a gym bro, but it's good for you, you know. So we got a bunch of powders here. Let's add just a little bit of milk so we don't have to run into the same issue like we just did. Did I put everything I need here, or do I want anything else? Do I want a little extract? That sweetness, why not? A little bit, since we just have a little banana. But you know the chocolate powder from, is it Oven? Or I think it's called Oven. That one is actually a really nice flavor. So you don't need much. You don't need much to taste it. What else is here? Well, for this mixture, I think this is plenty. So this is our chocolate mix. Maybe I could have added a little maca, but I think this is okay. We're gonna have it in the other base. Let's go. This one actually may need more. More liquid. Oh, but this texture is what I'm talking about. This is perfect. And that's because we added the tofu in there. So that makes everything so good. If I wasn't on a camera, I would be probably licking all of this. Because I'm the only person that uses it anyway. So who cares? My germs, my rules. My rules, my germs. Okay, let's go again. Should be good. Maybe I made it again too watery. We'll see. Oh, this is quite nice. So I don't have to use the same thing. Let's just layer these at the bottom of these two new ones. This one is kind of stuck. Where did I get stuck there? Is that the tofu that got stuck? So we gotta do this again. Ay, 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 ay. Yep, it got all stuck with my powder there. Let's do it. You know, I was talking bad about this yogurt, but when you put it in here, it's so good. So good. As you may have noticed, there is no specific recipe. You just go really by what you have and what you enjoy. And that's what life should be all about. Wow, this is so thick, I have to use a spoon for this. Can you see down here? Wow, so much chocolate. It's almost not enough. We gotta go chocolate again. But I don't want to bore you. Let's try some other ones. I also have all these other powders in different colors. I have a beetroot, I have a strawberry powder, the mango powder I just got. So options are limitless. If I had papaya today, I would probably go for the mango powder and do something more orangey. But you already saw something a little orangey from the previous batch and in the pictures, so you get the idea. And I don't think blueberries are in season and strawberries either, so they're quite expensive. But bananas here and the tofu saves your butt. And avocado, of course, when you go for the greenie, which we're gonna do next. Okay, so let's get as much of this out here as possible. I really wish we did more chocolate. I'll probably do it after the video is done, just for my own sake of eating it right away without freezing, because I do like this mixture so much. Okay, so I guess I have to empty this out for us to do the green one. I mean, once you figure out your flavors, it's so fun to do these, and every batch you can just tweak it a little. And when you do it in that big Ninja mixer, you're good for, well, I got 6 of these, but of course you can order more and just have more of them in the freezer. And then before I freeze them, I sometimes put some toppings on top, or I just put the toppings as I take them out and defrost. So, okay, we're almost there. Let me finish. So let's go with the green one. I'm gonna let these sit in the freezer now. And let's go to the next one. For the next one, we're gonna go green. And like I said before, already probably 3 times, I don't have avocados, so my base is gonna be mainly tofu and a little bit of banana. With the green mix that I use, which is basically spirulina. Where did I put it? Is it here or is it in the fridge? This is one of the worst tastes of my life, so I try to really sweeten this with stuff, because Otherwise, I can't really eat it. So I figured a way how to make this taste okay. But it's so good for you. And I use also the chlorella and the spirulina pills on the daily. This is so good for you. But that's a video for another time, because there is a whole another cabinet of supplements and stuff you should be putting in your body if you want to stay healthy and, you know, full of energy. So that's for another video, because that would take too much time. And I'm touching everything with my cocoa or cacao hands. Anyways, let's get to the green base. I'll start with powders this time. This is moringa, which I don't know why she didn't deserve a label, but I just label it like this, like a little ghetto. She doesn't have a sticker label yet, so I'll think about it. I do need more spoons. Hold on. Okay, we got this one. It again comes with this little spoon, but who goes so little? I mean, you in Veronica house, there is nothing little about it. So, go like that. Oh, there's a spoon hidden right here. Put it aside. Ooh, 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 ooh. Should I leave it in there or use it for something else? I'll use it for something else. So that's our moringa. Then we're gonna add a little almond milk, because I don't want it to stick to the bottom. And I'm gonna add a little bit of banana. I'm debating if I'm gonna use the whole banana, but we will see. We can do the whole banana, no? Or I'll save it for my chocolate thing. Okay, I'll save it for my chocolate thing. So banana, here you go. Add some piece of tofu. It doesn't have to be too much. Everybody cuts it different. I kind of cut it like a triangle. There you go. I miss making this in the Big Ninja. I got so used to it for the past few months. I've been only using that, so I always go big and, you know, always put a lot of ingredients, and then it's like a crazy town. But here I have to be a little more careful how much I'm putting in, so everything can fit. We're done with the cacao powder for now. Put this away. This. Okay, maybe, okay, a little ashwagandha, because that's what we like. It tastes like shit as well, but it's good for you. And for your stress levels. Maybe we can add a little maca for this one. But you know what? We're adding the spirulina already, so I should keep this a little more simple, because it's a little harder on the stomach. So let's put this away. So now the devil and the angel at the same time, because this is so good for you, but goddamn tasted bad. So let's see. I should probably have a dry spoon for this one, because it gets stick to it and I don't want to lick it up, because like I said, I don't really care for the flavor. But this is your superfood. I store this one in my fridge. I don't really have a reason for it, but I do like putting stuff in the fridge. So that's that. What else we need? The extract to make it sweeter. All right, now we have this kind of mixture, but I got hemp seed protein here, because there is never what? Enough protein. That's right. And this one is greener as well, so that works for us. Did I already put yogurt in? Or I have not? So we're gonna add that. And again, I am not measuring, I'm just going for my texture. So good for you. So good for you. A little bit of yogurt. It's funny how we added oats just into the first batch, because they're just so lonely. Look at me like, why don't you use me again? I want to live my life to the full potential. Okay, extract. Now this time it's gonna be a little more because I want to make it a little sweeter. Okay. Well, let's see how this texture does, and then we can add some more stuff. Or maybe not, because it's already a lot. Let's do this. Mm-mm-mm. So beautiful. So beautiful. See? We got a nice green in. So nice. Let's just do a taste test for once. This is really good. Okay. You can stay like this, or maybe not. I would keep it like this. So, unless we want to add maybe more, let's do a little bit more powder, because I think it's a little liquidy, but not much. Perfect. This magic bullet is so old too. Maybe that's why it's leaking everywhere. It's been working hard over time. It's been working over time. That's what I meant. Okay. Let's go. I cannot work in the kitchen. I would be licking everybody's silverware and everybody would turn into a Veronica after a while. So this is good. I don't think I need to add anything else. So we're just gonna pour it into our frozen, ready to rock and roll bowls. They've been sitting here only for a little bit, and not always I do this, but I figured for better mixing, this was a good idea. Bowl number 1. Number 2. See, so this was our first one. Now I just put the green one on top. So pretty. So pretty, so pretty. And then we had the chocolate left over with the green on top. Oh, so nice. I can't wait to have these when they freeze. Well, and then I have those two I have to fill up with something. So we gotta use up what we have and make sure they are happy and filled all the way in. So since this is so green, it's gonna be hard to get rid of that color. So I'm just gonna do more green. What the hell? It's good for me. So, and it tastes very nice. So more spirulina. Usually when I have a bowl with spirulina powder in it, I don't really even eat the tablets anymore, because these I usually do like 20 a day. But if I already have a lot of powder in my bowl, then I don't see the need to overdo it like that. But you cannot overdose on it. Really good for you. Do your research. It's awesome for your health and your immunity and aging too, and your skin. So if I were you, all the stuff that I'm gonna put in the description down below, make sure that you don't have any health complications that avoid you using that. You know, maybe some people have some kind of allergy and their body just doesn't react well with certain ingredients. So I would do my research first before I start buying anything. I myself, I'm not allergic to anything. Just one thing that I'm not gonna disclose, because then somebody can poison me on purpose. But this is all natural stuff. It's products that I've ordered over and over again, mostly from the same companies, because I'm really big on clean eating and having as clean of a diet as possible. Even though I do like my chocolate and stuff, but you know what I'm saying. It's just the less ingredients, the better. I don't do any chemicals in my body. I try to keep it healthy, so this goes hand in hand. This one, I actually added a little almond flour to this one just to make it a little interesting. Now the potion that is the potent stevia extract. Okay, let's close it because I don't think I need more of it. Oh, there's chocolate in it. I added more hemp powder because it's green. Goes well with it. Close that. I have all these little clips. Some clips look like a little pig. Where's the pig one? It was this one on the stevia extract. They make me happy. It's so funny. I'm also adding some moringa again. I also have this matcha mixture, but I don't feel like adding it right now. This already has the almond flour, the moringa, so we don't have to overdo it. A little bit of almond milk. And did we do the leftover banana? And this is gonna be perfect because I am getting rid of the almond milk already. It's gonna be almost empty, or is it empty by now? Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. So let's leave it like that. And this is our last batch today. And yeah, we could have gone all through the color scheme, but first of all, it takes a lot of ingredients. Second of all, I don't even have enough containers, so even if I did that, where am I gonna put it? Let's see if it's mixed well. Yeah, one thing I gotta say, invest in a good blender. I already had 2 of these magic bullets, but now I got so used to the Ninja that I don't want to go smaller than that. This is good. Does it need anything? I don't think so. I could always put more yogurt in, but I don't think we really need that. Texture is fine. I think we're ready. We are ready. Yeah, texture is excellent. So that's one. She's so nasty. She's so nasty. Of course, if I'm doing this for somebody, I'm not gonna do that, right? But I like to use my glass, you know, the glass, not glasses, but what do you call that thing? Glass, just glass, right? So I like to put something in that, like this one. Well, you saw it in a picture, I don't have to show you. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, and I'm just gonna finish eating this one and enjoy myself in peace, off camera, so I can do all my nasty shit. But you get the idea. It's all about your creativity and putting good stuff in your body without overloading yourself with sugar. The only sugar we used was banana, when you think about it. There is no sugar in the unsweetened almond milk. There is no sugar in my yogurt. I don't buy the ones with sugar. This one actually has 19 grams of protein, 0 fat, and it's really just cultured, pasteurized, non-fat, grade A milk. There is nothing else. So again, when you even buy a silly yogurt, you have to watch for stuff that has like 10 ingredients that you don't need. I would not buy any flavored yogurt. You can always add honey or agave yourself and know what's in it instead of getting these chemicals in your body. So I highly support that. Hopefully you enjoyed this and you get some knowledge out of this, and you can go ahead and order stuff that you like for yourself. Also, for toppings, I've been freezing these bowls with just toppings with bee pollen, or I put a little bit of the chocolate powder or cocoa powder if I had any, or if I had coconut flakes, I would freeze it with that. But at the end of the day, I do like to just defrost them, and then whatever I feel like eating on top. I can just add it if I have some shaved almonds, or I don't know what else comes to mind. But this has been great, so I pour it on top of all of these and freeze it just like that. See how pretty this looks? Let me just get all of them out of the fridge so we can admire our amazing work today and be done with it. Look how pretty that came out. So this was the chocolate with spirulina. This was our clear base with spirulina. Another clear base with spirulina. These are the ones from last week with the blue spirulina. I just took them from my freezer to show you. And this one is also from the freezer now. So yeah, add some toppings if you wish, or just add it at the end when you defrost them and enjoy. So here I am good for at least 1, 2, 3 days. Sometimes I eat 2 a day, or just 1 a day, or I don't eat them at all, so they can stay in the freezer for a little bit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I can show you some more stuff in my cabinet. We'll see. Bye.